Today, we're going to step back into the time of Jesus, where he often used simple, everyday stories called parables to explain deep truths about life, faith, and God's kingdom. One of those stories is the parable of the weeds. It's a story about a farmer, a field, and a surprising twist that teaches us about patience, judgment, and the bigger picture of God's plan. Jesus begins by telling his listeners, "The kingdom of heaven is like a man who planted good seed in his field." Picture this: a hard-working farmer carefully planting wheat. The rows are neat, the seeds are healthy, and the farmer looks forward to a plentiful harvest. But while everyone was asleep, something unexpected happens. An enemy crept into the field. He secretly scatters bad weeds among the wheat and then disappeared into the night. At first, everything looked fine, but soon, the workers noticed something strange. Alongside the healthy wheat, ugly weeds were growing, tangled and stubborn. The farmhands rushed to the owner and asked, "Sir, didn't you plant good seed in your field? Where did all these weeds come from?" The farmer replied, "An enemy did this." The workers immediately tried to fix the problem. "Do you want us to pull the weeds up?" they asked. But the farmer said, "No, because while you're pulling the weeds, you might also uproot the wheat. Let both grow together until harvest." Then he adds, "At harvest time, I'll tell the reapers, gather the weeds first, tie them into bundles to be burned, and then collect the wheat and bring it into my barn." Later, when the crowd had gone home, Jesus' disciples asked him to explain this story, and he did. Here's what he said: "The farmer planting good seed is the Son of Man, Jesus himself. The field is the world. The good seed, the wheat, represents the children of God, those who follow him. The weeds are the children of the evil one, planted by the enemy, the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are the angels." At the end, Jesus says, the weeds will be gathered up and burned, symbolizing judgment, while the wheat will be gathered into God's kingdom. The message is powerful. In our world, good and evil exist side by side. People who follow God and those who don't live together, often in the same communities, even in the same families. And sometimes, it's hard to tell the difference right away. Weeds and wheat can look almost identical in their early stages. That's why Jesus teaches that final judgment doesn't belong to us. It belongs to God. Our job isn't to rip out the weeds, but to remain faithful, to grow strong, and to trust that God will bring justice at the right time. Think about it this way. Imagine a classroom. Some students work hard, trying their best, yet others might distract, cheat, or may even cause trouble. If the teacher removed students too early, some might be wrongly judged before they had a chance to grow and change. Instead, the wise teacher waits until the final exam, when the truth of who studied and who didn't becomes clear. That's what this parable is like. God allows time for growth, for change, and for his plan to unfold. This parable reminds us of patience. Good and evil grow side by side. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, but Jesus teaches us that final judgment belongs to God, not us. It reminds us that God sees the whole picture, even when we can't. It's easy to ask, why does evil still exist? Why doesn't God just take it all away now? But Jesus' story shows us that God is waiting for the right moment, so that none of the wheat, his people, are lost in the process. So, what can we take from the parable of the weeds? Good and evil grow side by side. Sometimes, it's hard to tell the difference. God promises that his people will be gathered into his kingdom, safe and secure, like golden wheat stored in a barn. Until then, our calling is simple: grow, stay faithful, and trust the farmer. Because in the end, the harvest will reveal everything